Welcome back. This is part 3, and we are going to be doing a listening exercise this time. So first, I just want you to listen and see how much you understand. Also, while you're listening, I want you to pay attention to the infinitive form of the verb. 2 verbs, the second one is the infinitive.
Page 60, Exercise 2A. 1.
How much do you expect to pay for the concert?
No more than $25. 2.
What have you decided to do for your birthday?
I'm going to an exhibit at the art museum. 3.
Can you afford to buy a ticket for the show?
Not really. I need to start saving money. 4.
What did you agree to do next weekend?
We agreed to go to the park. 5.
How is Tom going to go to the park?
He intends to ride his bike. 6.
Have you ever refused to go on a trip with your family?
No, I haven't. 7.
What did they promise their relatives?
They promised to visit this weekend. 8.
What is Chen going to eat at the picnic?
He wants to eat ice cream and cake.
Okay, so let's review to see what verbs and infinitives you were supposed to be paying attention to. Number 1, expect to pay. Number 2, decide to do. Number 3, afford to buy. Number 4, agree to do. Number 5, intend to ride. Number 6, refuse to go. Number 7, promise to visit. Number 8, want to eat. 2 verbs, the second one needs a to, it becomes an infinitive. Okay, so now we're going to listen again. This time we're listening for gerunds. Remember, a gerund ends in ing. It's the second verb in a sentence that has 2 verbs.
Page 8, Exercise 2A.
You're not looking, you're just listening.
1.
Does Katrina like shopping for clothes online?
2. My brother enjoys playing soccer. 3.
Mrs. Tanaka doesn't mind cleaning the house.
4. Do you prefer eating at home or in restaurants? 5.
I love listening to the birds in the morning.
6. Do you enjoy using social media? 7.
Most people don't enjoy paying bills every month.
8. Winston dislikes doing English homework. 9.
I hate waiting for the bus.
10. Do you prefer going to bed early or late? 11.
Danny avoids taking dance lessons.
12. Would you mind closing that window? Page 10. Exercise 2A. 1.
Sally enjoys.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention to the proper place. So now I would like you to please open your student book and turn to page 8. And we're going to read the two verbs in each sentence. Section 2. Number 1, like shopping. ing is the gerund. 2, enjoys playing. Number 3, doesn't mind cleaning. Number 4, prefer eating. Number 5, love listening. Number 6, enjoy using. Number 7, don't enjoy paying. Number 8, dislikes doing. Number 9, hate waiting. Number 10, prefer going. Number 11, avoids taking. Number 12, mind closing. Okay, so we've reviewed, I hope, well enough for you to remember when to use gerunds, when to use infinitives. They are always the second verb. So we use gerunds when we talk about preferences, something you like to do, ing. When you talk about the future, you have two verbs, and you're talking about the future, you're going to use the infinitive. To go, to need, to plan, to pay, to do, to visit, the infinitive. Okay, so that has been the review part for the grammar in this section up to chapter 7. Now I would like us to please turn to a page that is in the back, and they're little units, and these are college and career readiness. If you would please turn to page 154. And what we're going to do is we're going to read out loud together. The directions are reading tip. Words like first, second, and finally often introduce the order in which you should do something. Look at those words in the article, then think about them as you read. So here we have a little idiomatic expression that's the title of this particular composition. It's called "A penny saved is a penny earned." Everyone? So actually, so if it's a penny saved and a penny earned, what do you think the topic of this entire composition is going to be? That's right. It is about money. Penny is a money. All right, here we go. Susan has a great job as a nursing assistant, but she has a problem. She is thinking about buying a used car. However, she doesn't have any money in a savings account and she is afraid of getting into a lot of debt. She doesn't spend much on expensive clothes or entertainment, but she never seems to have enough money. I worry about paying my bills, Susan says. I use my credit card a lot, and I usually make only the minimum payment. Unfortunately, my credit card has a high interest rate. What can I do? So what is Susan's problem? Subject verb. And remember, you're supposed to be answering this out loud. Okay, Susan is spending too much money. Susan is charging too many things. She doesn't have enough money to pay her bills, and she's using credit cards. Okay, great. Next. Many people have the same problem. The solution is simple. Susan needs a personal budget, a plan for spending her money. Making a budget is not difficult. All it takes is 3 easy steps. Well, from personal experience, making a budget is very easy. Following the budget is not so easy. All it takes is 3 easy steps. Here is financial advice for people like Susan. So these 2 paragraphs are telling you about what? What is this part of the composition telling you? Well, it's a plan. It's actually giving you advice as to what it is that you should do. And what is the advice? That's right, make a budget. Okay, first, you should make a list of all of your daily expenses for 1 month. Keep a piece of paper in your wallet and write down everything you buy. Don't forget incidental expenses like a cup of coffee or a magazine. So here we have a vocabulary word that you may or may not know, and the word is incidental. When you use the word incidental referring to money, it would be the opposite of major and necessary. So incidental would be hopefully small things that you don't need, but things that you want, and so you purchase and you buy. What is this word? Incidental. Okay. And they give us a couple of examples. Don't forget incidental expenses like cup of coffee or a magazine. You don't need that. These are things that you want, and they aren't necessary or part of your major have to have expenses. Notice that they also have a list of things that they're going to tell you what to do, and they use the words first, second, third, and finally. Okay, here we are. Next. Second, at the end of the month, you should look at your expenses. Combine them into categories or groups, such as clothing and entertainment. Then write down your other expenses, monthly bills like rent and electricity. Add up the numbers. What's the total amount you spent last month? It may surprise you. It's always surprising to me how much money I spend on incidentals. It doesn't feel like much, but boy, they add up pretty quickly. Finally, let's go back to reading. Finally, think about adjusting your spending habits, especially if you want to save for something special. You should look at your major expenses first. For example, maybe one of your largest expenses is $200 a month for food. Try changing your shopping habits so that you save $10 a month on grocery bills, or $20. You should also look at the small things that you buy every day. Every afternoon at work, I buy a $3 snack, such as cupcake or muffin, says Susan. If I bring a snack from home, I can save $60 every month and use that money to buy a car sooner. So that sounds kind of shocking that you would spend $60 a month on a snack. Well, $3 doesn't sound like very much, but boy, when you think about adding it up every day that you work, it's $60. Then it begins to sound like quite a lot. When you make a budget and follow it carefully, you will have more money for all the important things in your life. After all, a penny saved is a penny earned. So, why don't you stop and take a moment to think about all those things that you don't have to have, but that you do get, that are kind of little extras, and how important they are to you, and how many things you think you might want to stop doing, but keep a couple of little things because sometimes those little tiny things do make us happy. Okay, let's move on to page 155. It says, check your understanding. What is the main idea of the article? Okay, so the beginning usually tells you what the composition is going to be about. It says, she has a problem. And what does she want to buy? That's right, she wants to buy a used car. What's the problem? That's right, she doesn't have any money in a savings account. Back to question number 2. What is Susan worried about? That's right, she is worried about paying her bills. Why? That's right, because she uses her credit card a lot. What is it? She uses her credit card a lot. There's another part to that answer. She only makes minimum payments. What is it? She only makes minimum payments. Okay. What are the 2 problems Susan has with her credit card? Well, we just talked about one. What's the other one? That's right. Her credit card has a high interest rate. What is it? Her credit card has a high interest rate. Number 4, the author gives 3 steps for making a budget. What's the first one? That's right. She should make a list of her daily expenses for 1 month. What's number 2? That's right. She should combine all the expenses, add them up, and add up the numbers. Number 3, what was the last one? That's right. She should think about adjusting her spending habits. What is it? She should think about adjusting her spending habits. Number 5, what is the author's opinion about making a budget? Well, he thinks that, what is it? He thinks that if you make a budget and follow it carefully, you will have more money for the important things in your life. What is it? If you make a budget and follow it carefully, you will have more money for the important things in your life. Thank you and see you next time.